What's going on, guys? I'm Ryan here, back with the Indiana Weather Network. We are back live, currently tracking another severe storm, and this one is more interesting than the past couple of severe storms. And we told you if we had more severe weather, we'd be back live here, and lo and behold, we do. This one, 60-mile-per-hour winds, but if you notice here on radar, we do have some greens and some reds here, indicating that some rotation is with this storm. As such, the National Weather Service here has placed a possible tornado tag on this storm, meaning that rotation's not completely tightened up to where it's going to be on the ground momentarily, but there's enough there to warrant attention and mention that, hey, we have some rotation with this storm. We're going to watch it closely, and that's where we're at right now. This rotation is going to be just north and a little bit to the east of the town of Ferdinand, moving toward Mentor, Riceville, Eckerty, and Wycliffe. This is going to be for the counties. Go ahead and pop these on my screen here so I can accurately give you county names and roads and stuff like that. There we go. We are looking at the counties of Dubois, in particular the south and east corner of Dubois County, and then the western part of Crawford County, and maybe the very extreme part of northern Perry County. This is a severe warning. It is not a tornado warning. However, the rotation here on radar does indicate that we do have rotation with this particular cell. So that is where we're at currently. We're going to track this as we get along in the evening. Also want to mention back here further south in Evansville, ongoing flash flooding of significance is occurring in the town of Evansville. So please take it seriously. We've already had numerous reports and confirmations of water rescues that are ongoing in the Evansville area. So if you happen to be driving through the Evansville area tonight, please do not drive through flooded roadways. You do not want to become a victim to flood waters. This is going to be, yes, southern Indiana here. And the good news is latest scan looks like it's weakening out just a tad bit here. But this is very, very far south Indiana again. Basically the exact same place as what was warned previously. So the good news, though, is this is weakening out. It does appear it's not as strong as it was. That's really good news. We're going to track it regardless, though, until it's no longer a threat. This is going to be moving toward State Route 145 here, just west of Tazewell, currently positioned just south and west of Mentor. The warning's in effect for 31 more minutes, puts us at 7:45 Eastern Time, 6:45 Central Time. Yeah, I don't expect this to be a very long-lasting event. I said it before you caught the live about an hour and a half ago. Anything that does go severe today will be pretty brief in nature. It shouldn't be a widespread or a long-lasting thing. It's not expected to be that way today. We just so happen to have some storms down there with a little bit of excess low-level instability to fuel these storms to become strong and briefly perhaps severe, which is where we're at currently. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in chat here. Like I said before, we're going to track these until they're no longer a threat, which as of right now, based on latest scan, the rotation on it has weakened versus what it was. About 2 or 3 scans there is looking pretty decent. And then latest scan that came in is broadened it back out, which is great news. We're live over on YouTube as well as Facebook and X, so feel free to pop over on your platform of choice to watch us. All of our streams going forward will be on those 3 platforms. Our recommendation is to head over to YouTube as it's a much better platform to watch on, interactable, and so on and so forth. What's going on, Tiffany? Good to see you back in chat here. Got Jessica, Alexa. It's a slow night tonight. That's a good thing. Only a few warnings popping up. Not too much to talk about. This is the only warning currently in the state. Once again, it's going to be for Dubois and Crawford counties are the only 2 counties in the firing line of this particular cell. And that's going to be more so in particular south and east Du Bois, and the western part of Crawford. And I also want to mention the very far southwest corner of Orange County, also within this warning polygon. I also want to take note, not warned to the north of this current warning is a pocket perhaps of some gustier winds from Ellsworth over toward Lacey, this area here, heading toward French Lick, Orangeville, and Youngs Creek here. So just to the north of this warning, perhaps some gustier winds. Latest scan did intensify that rotation just a little bit. So that brings us back to where we were before, and we're going to watch this a little closer now. We're gate to gate, we're looking at what appears to be 24 and 30, so about 54 miles per hour of gate to gate, which doesn't even equate to a weak EF 0 tornado, which is good news. So the rotation's definitely there, but it's still weak. And let's hope it stays this way. No problem, Teresa. Also, okay. Yeah, South Indiana's caught quite a few storms this year. Most of those have been severe, unfortunately, with a lot of flash flooding as well. Also, take note, a new, what appears to be either a flood advisory or flash flood warning coming in here for this particular area. So can I click this? I can. It's a flood advisory, so a step below a flash flood warning. It just says minor flooding in low-lying areas is possible. And that's going to be for the basically same areas here. It looks like Du Bois County as well as the western parts of Orange and Crawford, and the northern part of Perry. So area of rotation, albeit weak, just south of Mentor and Birdseye, going to be crossing over, if not over right now, Conservation Club Road and South Motor Road. That's going to be the general area of interest here. Again, the warning is a severe warning, and it's going to be for 60 mile per hour winds as the main concern, but with this rotation as well, NWS has tagged it for a possible tornado, which you may be asking yourself, why not just issue a tornado warning? And that's usually because when we have these storms that are weakly rotating and the environment today doesn't really support tornadoes in general, they put the tag on there as a precaution because it does have rotation, yes, but the environment today wouldn't support it, and the rotation itself is not strong enough to warrant a tornado warning. How's Terre Haute looking? We can take a peek across the state here for those of you tuning in. There's really not much going on severe wise. I mean, the only two areas we're going to mention right now are the ones we're covering, which is going to be out here in Du Bois, Orange, and Crawford counties ahead of the storm. And then also back down here toward Evansville, major ongoing flooding there in town. Likely some more ongoing as more rain is actually over Evansville. That could get worse. But zooming out here, just some scattered storms across South Indiana here. If we go further north here toward Indianapolis, we do have some showers and some storms up this direction. Also some flood advisories there just north of Noblesville. But generally speaking, we have a pretty big dry gap here from about Bloomington to Indianapolis. Then north Indianapolis, just some isolated scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder. And going even further north here, you're pretty much dry, just some light showers perhaps by the Fort Wayne area. But that's pretty much it. There's not much going on across the state. We happen to have a little bit of instability down here to work with, which is why we're getting a few pop-up strong storms, perhaps severe storms as well down here. This one happens to have some rotation with it. Is this heading toward Jennings County? The answer is no. Jennings County, you're 3 to 4 counties to the east and north of this. So by the time it gets to you, moving so slow, it's not going to reach you. So no concerns from this particular storm. Any more questions? Go ahead and drop them in chat here, guys. Area of rotation, going to zoom back in here and flip it over to velocity. It's actually weakened to where it was a few scans ago. Just south of Mentor, moving into Birdseye and Riceville here along State Route 64. Brownstown, you're good. Again, no severes expected, except I guess for these very far southern cells. There's a bit of storm fuel here fueling these up. Otherwise, we're not really seeing much anything across the state besides a rumble of thunder and mostly just rain showers. How bad is it looking for Orange and Dubois County? So I'm going to say it's not looking too bad, so to speak, right now. There is a pocket here of gustier winds heading into Orange County that's currently basically on the county lines of Martin, Dubois, and Orange. Perhaps 40 or 50-mile-per-hour winds with this particular area. We see the brighter reds where I'm circling. And then further south here, this rotation's heading up into the northern part of Crawford, perhaps southern part of Orange. So right now, I say Dubois, you're about to be out of the concern for anything strong or severe. But northern Crawford and particularly Orange County, I would be a little more concerned for Orange than I would be any of the other two counties. And these are moving pretty slow. The text of the warning here says that this storm is moving at about 25 miles per hour. So it's a very, very slow mover. So if you're out here watching, like from Salem, for example, or Sellersburg, Scottsville, Vienna, Mitchell, Brownstown, anywhere out ahead of this, it's going to take a while to get to you. And the hope, and I expect the expectation, should I say, from us is a weakening trend to a point where it gets to you, it's just rain showers. If this were moving at like 60 miles per hour, I'd put you guys on alert because it gets to you guys much quicker, but it's going to get to you guys slowly. And the later we get, the more instability we lose. So it's not going to become a concern for too long. Warning continues for a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust potential, as well as a possible tornado with this particular cell. Latest scan continues to have some rotation with it. But it's pretty broad. It's not strong or intense by any means. No, it is not, Lanny. Yeah, this storm currently between Riceville and Mentor on the county line of Crawford, Dubois, and Orange is currently the only severe storm in the state. There's a couple strong storms out there. These blue boxes here do indicate stronger wind gusts, but they're not technically severe. I think the main hazard with this particular segment here is, besides the wind gusts and a potential for a brief tornado, I think the more widespread and dominant concern would be flash flooding here. Because these storms are moving pretty slow, they're also dumping a lot of water because there's a lot of moisture out there in the atmosphere. So there's heavy rainfall rates in a short amount of time. Flooding is going to become a concern here for any place that's getting rain currently. French Lick, especially Jasper. Yeah, I could see some flash flooding happening anywhere within this big blob of rain. This is in the southern part of Indiana, moving to the east northeast at about 25 miles per hour. Taking a peek further north here, we do have some isolated showers up here by Sullivan, Linton area. Those are not strong, not severe. Same thing applies up here near Crawfordsville. Some heavier rain just north there of 74 near Thorntown. And also over here near Anderson and Elwood areas. Got some heavier rain up there. But there's nothing here that warrants concern for anything severe. But again, flash flooding and flood advisories are in effect for these areas in green. So slow moving storms, slow moving rain showers, dumping a lot of rain, you're going to get flooding with them. That's just the way it goes. This warning continues for 19 more minutes. Latest scan does weaken out that rotation just a bit, but it is still definitely there. The brighter red's there next to some off-color greens just north of Mentor. That's the area of interest for rotation, but it's not overly strong or organized, so I'm not too concerned for that at that particular scan. But that could change here as we progress, as the storm progresses here. We'll have to watch it. Yes, that's confirmed. There is now a flash flood emergency for Evansville. Again, flash flood emergency. That indicates that there is significant ongoing flooding that could be life threatening. And those in low lying areas that are taking on water need to move to higher ground immediately. That is, I believe, one of the first flash flood emergencies I've ever seen in the states I cover of Indiana and Michigan. I'm sure it's not the first per se, but those are very, very rare. So the fact that we have a flash flood emergency ongoing, I mean, we knew the flooding was significant, so that's not really a surprise, but you don't get that every day. So again, if you know anybody in the Evansville area in a low-lying area, maybe a good time to check in with them. Or if you yourself are watching from Evansville, let's make sure you're good. I mean, most people will be okay in towns. I mean, that's most areas are not low lying. But if you happen to be in a flood prone area, you guys need to be seeking higher shelter immediately. Taking a peek down here in the Evansville area, we just had another rain shower move through the city, so that's going to exaggerate any flooding even more, which is not good news. This warning continues for 15 more minutes. Rotation on this storm is weakened, which is great news. We'll be out of here once the storm is no longer severe or poses a threat, whatever comes first. This is moving toward the Wycliffe area, as well as Greenbrier, Young's Court, just north of Tazewell. Yeah, this rotation is is weakened quite a lot. The disorganization here, and that's to be expected too with the environment today. There's just not much going on um, supporting wise for these storms. Yeah, Salem was the last city that flooded. That was pretty significant as well. That was, if I remember correctly, it was just a flash flood warning for that. Um, this is a flash flood emergency, which is two steps above a typical flash flood warning. So Columbus, Indiana, as this moves north, anywhere out ahead of this, Seymour, Columbus, Salem, North Vernon, anywhere out ahead of this, this is moving pretty slow here. So it's not going to get to you guys very fast at all, and if at all, period. I do expect it will rain at some point tonight for you guys, but severe wise, no. In fact, they just dropped the warning on this, so that means the storm. Again, this is how it's going to be today. I mean, if there's going to be a severe storm, it's going to be in the southern part of the state where these storms are currently at. It's going to be very brief. It's not going to pose a risk very long. So that's exactly what happened with this particular storm. So no more warning in effect. Rotation is weakened out. I will say up here by French Lick, the radar does indicate some gustier winds may be occurring there. So Paoli, Orangeville, Orleans, prepare for some gusts, but those should not be severe. 30 or 40 mile per hour winds, maybe 50 at most, but severe is not expected with that at this current time. So with that said, we are going to pop back out, and in the event we have to go back live, we'll do it. But for right now, the rotation is weakened and the storm is no longer warned. So we're going to pop back out. And again, if you guys have anybody or you yourself watching from Evansville area, make sure you're okay. Move to higher ground if you live in a low, I can't talk. If you live in a low-lying area, be sure to move to higher ground to protect yourself, as floodwaters can come on very quickly. If you have family or friends in the area, make sure you're checking on them to make sure they're okay as well. With that said, I'm going to pop out of here, signing off. Hopefully, I don't see you guys again until a week or more. But if need be, I'll be back on tonight. So, all right, you guys enjoy your evening.